UW360 is proudly supported by BECU, a not-for-profit member-owned credit union. Pacific Office Automation, copy, print, workflow, and IT. Problem solved.
Hi, I'm Samantha Rund, and this is UW360. We're in Meany Hall, one of the region's finest performance facilities. Its two theaters host performances throughout the year by the schools of drama, music, and dance, as well as international artists who participate in the UW World Series. And when you come for a performance, it's worth arriving early to explore the art displayed in the lobby. There are works here by Jacob Lawrence, Dale Chihuly, Guy Anderson, and many others. We'll get a peek at some of it during this program. And later in the show, we'll bring you a story about the Chamber Dance Company, a group dedicated to staging works that span a century of modern dance. We'll also take you to the salmon homing pond on campus, where Chinook return every year. We'll check out a college prep program for students with disabilities, go out on a research cruise with oceanography students, and follow an undergrad researcher who had an amazing experience in China. But first, we share our Husky pride as we introduce this year's women's basketball team. Here's a preview of what fans can expect on the court.
We want to be physical with them. We want to box out hard. We want to, run the court so their legs are tired.
Salivate like a husky. Like you want to just go and just, tear somebody like limb for limb.
Play with grit, play like dogs out there, get in their face, be loud, be aggressive.
Fearless, dominant, hardworking, focused.
Be strong and just go at them and just dominate.
Meet the University of Washington's women's basketball team.
We want teams to feel that they have played the Huskies. That's what we want. We have just a makeup about us that just keeps us coming after people. And that's the type of basketball we want to show.
In their season opener, that's just what the Husky women did show. Trailing by 7 points with 6 minutes left in the game, they kept coming. Junior Christy Kingma hit 3 back-to-back three-pointers. And with less than a minute on the clock,
over to Williams, puts the ball up, knocks it down!
Fellow junior Molly Williams sank her first bucket of the night to secure a Husky win over Portland State by 1 point.
I think you're going to see a lot more of an attack mindset from every position. That doesn't necessarily mean everybody's going to put up 20 points, but it does mean that they have a chance to be a scorer for us in some way, shape, or form.
Here we go, shots up!
That attack mindset comes from intense hours of practice, often against male players.
We go against a scout team made up of all guys, and we like to give them a little business, so to speak.
We're going to talk about how to defend two things, okay? A flare screen and a back screen. Here we go!
Defensively is always something we hang our hat on every day. We come in, we put on a hard hat, we go to work, and we get out there and we battle. We have a really strong core in our junior class with Christy Kingma, Molly Williams, Mackenzie Argans, and Regina Rogers in that junior class. Then that's made up underneath them with 4 freshmen. That's the kind of makeup you want to have.
Everything's turned up 10 notches.
Auburn Riverside standout Mercedes Wetmore is among those promising freshmen.
It was a lot easier being a leader at a high school level. It's just, you're kind of the top dog, but here everyone's really good and kind of have to work in with all the really good players here and be vocal at all times and stuff, so that's been a challenge.
Wetmore is joined by fellow freshman Marjorie Hurd of Snohomish and Ashley Moore of the Bay Area. The team is anchored at the top by point guard Sarah Morton, this year's only returning senior.
I think you'll see a lot of people on the floor. I think you'll see hopefully about a good 8 to 9 player rotation, and we'll be sitting pretty good.
Like what she's got, get it down to Rogers on the right side. The leaner, off last, good.
Sitting pretty, yes, but the players want opponents to know a game against Huskies will be anything but.
When they get off the court, all they can think about is, man, those Huskies, I don't want to play them no more.
I think more than anything, being a Husky is just really priding yourself in every asset of the game and just striving to do that every possession.
The Husky women had a t-shirt printed that says 40, 20, 64. It represents their goal of finishing in the top 4 at the Pac-10, winning at least 20 games and securing a slot in the 64-team NCAA tournament. We're all cheering for them. You can find team information and schedules, as well as information about all UW sports at gohuskies.com. Up next, we go to another seasonal tradition. For decades, Chinook and coho salmon have been raised and released at a hatchery on campus. In the fall, mature fish find their way back to the salmon homing pond down by Portage Bay.
Every year, in a frenzy of flapping fins and tails, salmon make a spectacular run. They return from years at sea to spawn and die in the spot where their lives began. For these fish, it's a pond on the University of Washington campus.
We have Chinook and coho salmon. We open the pond the first week of October, and usually the run is over by the first week of December.
The salmon homing pond is next to Portage Bay, down behind the UW Medical Center. It's a popular place in the fall.
When we're spawning, we have lots of people just passing by, walking dogs with their children, going to and from work, and so lots and lots of questions, really interested people in the public out there wanting to know what we're doing and why, and some of them have been coming down here for years to watch.
The UW Salmon Run began in 1949 using a net pen, and in 1961 the pond was built. In the wild, salmon would lay their eggs in the stream bottom and die shortly afterward. Here, the fish are euthanized and the eggs are gathered, fertilized, and then incubated in a hatchery. In the spring, the young fish spend a few weeks imprinting on the pond. Then they're released to continue growing in fresh water before beginning their trek to the sea.
And then they migrate out as smolts to sea and spend anywhere from a year to 4 years out at sea before coming back as adults.
No one really knows how or why salmon return to their birthplace to spawn. One possibility is that they may be guided by the Earth's magnetic field.
Once they get close enough to the natal stream, then they can actually use their olfactory abilities to smell their way home.
The run has been manipulated over the years to aid in studying migration as well as factors that affect survival. It's also been an attraction for school children and adults.
It's a great kind of interface for people to get up close with salmon and learn a little bit about the life history and what we do with them here at this facility.
Soon this will be only a memory. The salmon pond is closing. No more young fish will be released, and the research will end. Coho and Chinook will continue to return from the sea for a few more years, so the target date for final closure is 2013. In the meantime, the pond will stay open until the last adults have come home.
When we come back, we'll take a look at a summer program that combines camp with college prep. Stay with us. Do It Summer Study is a program for college-bound high school students with disabilities. It's a mix of hands-on science, college living, career exploration, and just plain summer fun.
Okay.
Of all the ways to prepare for college, this has to be one of the most fun. The Do It Scholars program at the University of Washington. It's summer camp without the tents and mosquitoes.
It was certainly wild the first day. You step out and you think you're going to be in a cabin in the woods, and you just arrive at this enormous storm, and they give you a set of keys and you're going to act like a college student. You're going to go to classes, you get to hang out in the dorm.
Do It stands for Disabilities, Opportunities, Internet Working, and Technology. From all over the state, high school students with disabilities come here to get a taste of college life. For 2 weeks, they live in dorms, take hands-on science classes, and boost their computer skills.
Do It brings together faculty members, graduate students, undergraduate students here at the university and also at local, community, and four-year colleges to interact with the scholars, and so they can begin thinking about what they might want to do when they get to college and move on to a career.
Science and math is very interesting, and you're going to learn a lot that you're going to use in everyday life. And I think it's important to take it, even if you don't like it. Learning is always good.
Ooh, we got a double bypass in progress here, huh?
Not only do students get to learn about exciting science and math careers, they also learn important life skills and how to prepare for the transition from high school to college.
It's really important that the Do It Scholars stay on campus. They live in a dormitory, they learn to live independently, they learn how to request accommodations from faculty and from disability support services. So regardless what campus they end up going to when they go to college, they're going to be just one step ahead in being ready to have that experience.
So a lot of the benefits in Do It were learning some of the self-advocacy skills, becoming more independent and less dependent on my parents, getting ready for college.
It's something I've always had a hard time with. But thanks to Do It, it's really helped me though, honestly, like personally, with my disability, coping with it.
What is going to happen if you don't try? You're not going to succeed.
Beyond summer, Do It Scholars become part of a network of adult mentors and peer support that will carry them through college and into careers.
Do It helped me a lot with getting my interview skills ready, working with polishing off my resume, and then going through the process of actually getting different internships.
The Do It Scholars benefit from a large group of mentors that we recruit into the program. And these individuals, many of them have disabilities themselves, share their experiences and help the younger participants move on to college and careers. The Do It Scholars have an opportunity to do this too, as Do It ambassadors. Once they graduate from high school, they too can be mentors, sharing their experiences with the younger scholars.
I've really enjoyed coming back as an older ambassador to mentor the younger kids. I feel that I have the experience and I really appreciate the environment and the opportunity to share that.
And of course, at summer camp, students always get time for fun.
Students are encouraged to apply for the Do It program in their sophomore year of high school so that they can attend 2 phases of summer study before they graduate. After graduation and during college, many of the scholars continue on as interns and mentors. Applications are due in January, and you can find more information at washington.edu/doit. And now in our next story, we're going to sea with a group of UW oceanography students.
This is the RV Thompson, also known as the Tommy Thompson, a Class 1 research vessel operated by the University of Washington.
Put your feet on the second rail, grab onto the top rail and hoist yourselves up, and I'll show you how to cock the bottle.
And these are future scientists, undergraduate students majoring in oceanography.
Number 1, right there, and it corresponds with 1, so we're good to go.
This is what I want to do with my career, is be on the boats. That's part of the reason why I want to do oceanography, so that I can end up doing research.
I'm really excited because this is going to be my office, you know, for my profession, so I'm really looking forward to it.
Okay, coming up.
Whether it's putting the CTD over the side or collecting phytoplankton, or in this case, collecting a box score, I think it's just an opportunity for the students to kind of get a taste of what oceanographic research is like.
That's what originally attracted me to the oceanography department, is the fact that I could get involved in research pretty much as a freshman.
This green line is fluorescence, so chlorophyll in the water.
The UW is one of only a handful of universities in the nation to offer undergraduate oceanography degrees. These students will conduct research equivalent to many graduate programs. About half of them are already research assistants, and for 45 days every year, they get the chance to work aboard a global class research vessel. It's an amazing opportunity.
It gives them an opportunity to actually see what we do out at sea, and that's almost impossible, I think, to teach in the classroom.
Well, oceanography is really an observational science, and so although we do a lot of computer modeling and we have to collect data, and ships are still the primary method of collecting data, and so to have an effective oceanography program, we have to take students out to sea.
And then just watch your toes when they lower it down.
When they're ready to graduate, these students will take a 10-day research cruise in the Pacific Ocean, gathering data for their senior projects.
And it looks like we've got plenty of water.
In the meantime, they not only learn how to gather samples, but they learn just how precious those samples can be.
There's a lot of time and money invested in the water. And I've been on cruises where scientists actually not physically fight, but argue about what water samples go to who
and what the priority is.
Good catch?
It's not bad. I mean, there's a lot of little stuff there. We're going to go look under dissecting scopes to see how many different types of organisms we have.
A lot of people at this age don't get to go out and do this sort of research right away. They have to wait until grad school or like upper division classes. And as an undergrad, I feel like it's just a great hands-on experience, and it's kind of just adding this extra dimension to what we're learning in the classroom, and it just makes it that much more interesting.
It's just mud. You have to touch it.
It's on my nose. Are you gonna taste it?
Ready?
Yeah, it's salty too, actually.
The R.V. Thompson and the University of Washington. A rare combination of research, technology, and the opportunity for students to get a true taste for their future.
There are many opportunities at the University of Washington for undergrads to become involved in research projects, both here and abroad. Jeffrey Morgan, pursuing a double major in engineering and international studies, spent a year in China. And when disaster struck, he found a way to change his role from research to recovery efforts.
Jeffrey Morgan comes from a family of world travelers. So when he came to the University of Washington, spending a year abroad was a given. A double major in international studies and civil and environmental engineering, Jeffrey did a year of research on water projects in small Chinese villages. And that's when life handed him the unexpected.
I was there for the 2008 Wenchuan earthquake, which killed over 90,000 people. While I was there, created 5.5 million refugees, like homeless, which for a while there I was a part of that.
The university offered to get him back to safety in Seattle. But when the quake hit, Jeffrey and another student, Steve Margotin, were living with Chinese families. They couldn't just walk away.
I don't think I could live with myself, like, all right, well, it's been, a great time. Times are tough, see you later. I couldn't do that, neither could he.
Jeffrey and Steve started out doing relief work, but then formed their own nonprofit. They raised $65,000. Part of the money funded eco-toilets, part of the money bought winter supplies for villagers, and part of the money went towards school supplies, an offshoot of an effort that initially cost nothing. In a village where a school had collapsed and where students and teachers had lost their lives, a volunteer teacher asked for some simple help.
The students are still very afraid, and she thought something that might help would be to get students from around the world to kind of support them and show them that they cared.
Jeffrey sent an email that was read and answered the world over.
We got teachers from all over the US, England, Ireland, France, Germany, Hong Kong, all sending letters to go up to these areas. In some, we got over 5,500 letters and pictures that students had drawn and wanted to give to the students in the earthquake area.
Jeffrey still goes on high alert if a building shakes from a passing truck or a furnace kicking on. A small price, he says, for finding the inner strength to do the right thing.
The thing that pushed me the most and opened my eyes the most is working through the earthquake and still being able to do something incredible. But knowing that you can still do amazing things when times are extremely tough.
Jeff is headed for graduate school next year, where he'll continue studying ways to create better living conditions for people around the world. And in just a minute, we'll be back to tell you about a very exciting program that showcases a century of modern dance. It's been over 100 years since the birth of modern dance. In the early 20th century, artists were breaking away from the confines of classical ballet and creating works that were an expression of individuality. In America and Europe, women were the primary force behind this movement. Today, dances that may not have been seen for decades are brought back to the stage by the UW Dance Program's Chamber Dance Company.
For more than 20 years, a professional dance company at the University of Washington has been offering something very special to Seattle audiences. Performances of historical modern dance, many of which can rarely be seen anywhere else.
Good. That's great.
The Chamber Dance Company is the realization of a vision by founding artistic director and dance professor Hannah Wiley.
I'm an alum of the University of Washington, 1973. And when I went to New York the first time, I started seeing modern dance work that I had never seen before. And when I was hired to come back in 1987 to direct the dance program, I felt it was important to bring dance history to this institution so alums of the dance program wouldn't graduate without being aware of their heritage.
The annual highlight of the program is a weekend of performances in October. Dance selection starts as much as 3 years before a concert.
I usually choose something I really love or something I've always wanted to see, and then I start creating a concert around that particular work.
To stage the performances, Wiley seeks out people who have a connection to the work. For more recent dances, it could be the choreographer. Or when the company wanted to perform dances by Isadora Duncan, they found a woman who had studied under one of Isadora's adopted daughters. But in some cases, a dance hasn't been performed within living memory, requiring some research to reconstruct.
For instance, the Loie Fuller works that we performed a few years back were reconstructed using photographs and descriptions of the dances and the outline of the music and how the movement might have fit in.
The core performers in the chamber dance concerts are graduate students pursuing a master's degree in dance. Many of them have years of professional experience and are planning to become teachers.
Having a combination of kind of the more traditional academic life but still being able to be a creative artist has been really crucial for me. By the time I leave here, I can either go back to dancing or I can apply for jobs in higher education. And for me, it's just been really perfect.
Many performances have been filmed over the years. That catalog of works has become a tremendous resource in itself, with close to 100 recordings of modern dance.
I didn't start out picturing the archive. I started out imagining the gift of live modern dance as a learning tool for dance majors. And then it kind of ballooned into a larger, pretty exciting, permanent archive.
It's an archive the company continually builds upon, and one that they share with the Seattle arts community.
Right again, sound, go.
I found over the years that if I can get someone to come to one of the Chamber Dance Company concerts, that they keep coming. I believe that we probably have some of the most sophisticated dance audiences in the country. And they love that we're here to preserve and we're here to educate. That's what I love.
Arts events are always happening at the University of Washington, and you can go to artsuw.org for the latest information. Also, for events here at Meany Theater, you can go to meany.org for schedules and ticket information. And that's it for this month's edition of UW360. We'll be back next month with all new stories. In the meantime, you can watch us online at uwtv.org/UW360, where you'll also find links to more information about each of our stories. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in January.